Okay, here we go. If you want to learn how I learned to trade, you can click the link in the description. There's a full training module on how to trade on Betfair. But for now, let's trade. They've both moved quite a lot in the prices. And it's still 10 minutes out, so what I'll do is I'll just position myself in a few spots here. Just try and get ahead of the crowd. You always have to be quite wary of horses that, well, like for example these two favourites here, where they've had a long price shift, because it's just difficult to gauge sometimes, because, you know, if you get on the wrong side of it and it keeps moving at that kind of pace, then it's tricky to gauge, and you have to be always protect your bank. Always protect your bank. So I'm just scalping out a few ticks here on the third favourite, just because you can see it's very stable and it hasn't moved anything yet. So, and it's still 9 minutes out, so the likelihood is this is probably going to stick around here for the next few minutes. So my guess is that the first and second favourite, they will bounce off each other, while the third one might just sort of stick around this point here. But we'll see. It's starting to come in now, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. So the first one's drifting out more. Hopefully it comes and grabs that. I'll just move this down here, just so if it bounces back I can just get a nice chunk of profit there. So you can see here at this point I need to be careful here, because if the matched money stacks up on the lay side, then I need to get out of this position. But I'm expecting it to come bouncing back down again past 3. That is generally what happens, but we'll see. I'll give it a couple of seconds, and then if nothing changes right now, then I'll just have to exit out on that one for a small loss. But you can see it's not... Yeah, there we go, okay. So at this point, if it goes back up again past 3, then I'll get out, because it's probably going to continue. But I'll leave this for now and see how far down it goes. In fact, I'll just try and get there. There we go. Okay, cool. I'm just wary here, just from experience, because see how it's been drifting. Again, in my mind, it's probable that the favourite, or what used to be the favourite, is probably going to come back in again. So, if this one bounces out past 3 again, I'm probably going to back it. Because when it hits around about 5, I reckon there's a good chance that this favourite is going to come back in for quite a few ticks. Again, this is just, in my opinion, it's a probable event. Okay, it's not guaranteed. It's not, you know. So I've entered with £200 stake there at 305, and I'm going to leave it. I'm willing to accept a bit of a loss on this one, because, yeah, you'll hear Peter Webb and Carnberry talk about it all the time about, you know, your edge and stuff, and so you just have to sort of go with your gut feeling sometimes, and just go with what you think and what you feel is right based on your experience. And my experience says to me that it's likely that the favourite is probably going to come in. Not guaranteed, obviously, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. And I'll just scale out a little bit here, just to get myself a bit... Okay, so I've got that breathing room now, so now if it hits my stop loss, it hits the stop loss. I'm not bothered. I'd rather have a very, very small profit than a small loss. So at this point, I'm just going to sit. If this one comes down to this point here, I'm very happy. What I can do actually, I can get ahead in the queue on this one, so if it keeps coming in, then I can scalp out a few. And also, yeah, oh, this one looks like it might bounce back up again. It's a fair whack of money came in there for the second favourite. It's always very important to, whenever you're trading, like I did there, when I entered at 305, as soon as they moved in my favour, I offset a little bit, just to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. Because if I hadn't done that, then right now I'd be in quite a nervous position, just because if it moved to 305, I'd be in a losing position, whereas now I've got that extra little bit of wiggle room that will give me a minute or two to decide what to do. And like I said, always use stop loss, because I know it's frustrating when your stop loss is hit, because if this 315 gets hit now and it moves back down again, it's very frustrating. So you can see now, I'm hoping that it doesn't move back down again, because it's quite frustrating when it does that. But as you can see, I'd rather have a very, very small profit than a loss, right? Because at the end of the day, sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes your gut feeling is wrong. So, but it's no big deal, right? As long as you cover your bank, cover your ass, you'll be totally fine. Never be too proud to admit when you're wrong. And in that case, I was wrong. The third favourite here seems to be steaming in. I need that £2 to disappear. So this one, I'm not too worried yet, because it's come quite a long way in, and it's going to take quite a bit for this to keep pushing past here. So I'm not really too worried, other than the fact that this has happened, so that's got me worried now. Well, now I'm in a right old mess. But keep your cool. Don't worry too much. Because I do reckon this is going to bounce back a bit here. I'll move that up there. There's only a couple minutes left here. And again, my gut instinct tells me that whenever you get a horse like this that's come in a fair chunk, in the last minute or so, it usually stalls and drifts out again just a little bit, just because everyone who's been trading it is basically cashing out. They're taking out their profits. So I'm quite happy to, because we're so close now, I'm not really too bothered about this one. And the fact that second favourite is broken through, and the favourite isn't really, it's not drifting out. So I'm quite confident here now that this is going to keep, hopefully it peaks up here and touches my 2-2 there. You can see the second favourite is battling on the 3. Favourite here is not really budging, so I'll try and scalp out a little tick there. Very, very nice, because I'm definitely ahead of the queue here, so I know if it just touches here. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Alright. Excellent. Well, for a few minutes there, it was a bit of a hairy situation, but the thing is, if you just keep your cool and react to what's happening in the market, watch what's happening in the market, and you'll be fine. Because I could see, based on the fact that the first favourite wasn't budging, even when my horse was coming in, and this one crossed the 3, and nothing was really happening. So I knew that I wasn't in I wasn't in too much trouble, put it that way. So whenever you're doing this, just keep your cool and just react to whenever you find yourself in a really sticky situation and it's gone against you. Just don't let the market bully you too much. Just read what's happening, watch the other horses, just take a deep breath and just trade. Don't worry about, don't look at your negative, don't worry about the numbers, alright? So it was a nice £20 profit. I'm quite happy with that. It could have been worse, but, you know, I'm quite happy with that.